Welcome to Cyber Citadel.
Countries around the world are fighting increasingly destructive cyber attacks.
Russia, the United States, and many points in between.
Paralyzing major companies.
This malicious software has run riot around the world.
The most devastating cyber attack in history. The cyber weapon NotPetya.
Go back to WannaCry.
Ransomware has become a tool of choice for an awful lot of criminals.
It often arrives in the form of a link in an innocuous-looking email.
You can buy ransomware online for as little as $39.
How damaging was this attack? $4 billion in financial losses, 150 countries affected. It locked up about 300,000 computers.
And causing more than $10 billion in damage.
Well, how do we fight cybersecurity threats?
We now got to get cyber smart.
Being cyber smart means knowing the threat. Scareware is a charade to make a user believe their system is infected. In this case, don't panic. Screen lock is the inability to get past a ransom demand displayed on your computer screen. Again, don't panic. Your files are not lost. Encryption ransomware is the real thing. You can navigate your system, but all your files are locked. In this case, it is time to prepare for negotiations. In every ransomware scenario, your initial response matters. Key responses include isolating the case, disconnecting from the infected machine, identifying the ransomware type, and planning your next move. And, throughout the initial response, you must document everything. This will form the basis for your police report and future amendments to your internal cyber incidents response plan. Let's go through some scenarios. Always start by asking if your files are safely backed up. If they are, start by removing the ransomware with anti-malware software. If that works, job done. File a police report and update your internal incident response plan. If it doesn't work, it's time to reboot your system in safe mode, initiate a system restore, and/or reset your operating system. Let's say, however, your files are not safely backed up. This makes dealing with ransomware more difficult and puts your data at substantial risk. If your files are unrecoverable, you can try and recover them with a system restore. There is slim hope that this will be enough, however, in which case you need to enter negotiations as soon as possible to buy time and cut costs. While in negotiations, you can search for a decryption key, but don't depend on it. Often the encryption key is not available. At this point, you have really only two choices: pay the ransom, which fuels the cybercriminal industry, or admit defeat, cut your losses, and lose your files. Business-wise, you are back to square one, making a full recovery close to impossible. Going into 2020, the ransomware threat landscape looks set to once again attack unsuspecting victims. The truth about ransomware is that it is on the rise. A handful of American civil government offices were targeted in 2019. Toll Group was hit twice in 2020. Also, new variants of ransomware are constantly being found. Copperhedge, Tainted Scribe, and PebbleDash are new ransomware variants that Cyber Citadel knows to look out for. To avoid becoming an industry pariah, read our white paper, Your Money or Your Data. It covers the types of ransomware attacks, response strategies, and how to prepare for an attack. Our white paper also describes the growing risk of being attacked by ransomware motivated by blackmail. Until recently, cybercriminals have included blackmail in their attacks, but have been unable to follow through with it. However, in late 2019, Maze ransomware changed the game. Now, a ransomware attack does not solely rely on data accessibility. If you refuse to pay for the return of your data, it is released publicly, exposing sensitive and possibly classified information. After this happens, a business's reputation will lie in tatters. This new, highly probable naming and shaming scenario has elevated ransomware from a low-level money-grabbing business to a multi-million-dollar extortion enterprise. The only way to avoid suffering a ransomware attack is to get cybersecurity experts on board with your company's defenses. Get in touch today to find out how we can help. The risk is real. Defend with Cyber Citadel.